Understand, when operating as a rideshare driver, whether driving for Uber or Lyft, you are on your own. If violence ensues, there is no one coming to save you, and even sometimes when you contact law enforcement, they can give you the inclination that they don't give a damn about you. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim with another ride-sharing video. This is an awful story from both what happened to the driver and the results of going to the police asking for help. This comes to you out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. I want you to listen to the title of this. Uber driver choked while taking passengers home. This happens often, folks. We just did a video the other day suggesting that some drivers are concerned where passengers sit in their vehicle because it does put a passenger at tactical advantage over the driver, particularly if they're sitting directly behind you. Nevertheless, in this case, a driver picks up 3 passengers. Now, the story goes on to say that it was a young couple and an older gentleman that was the stepfather of one of the members of the couple. And out of nowhere, this old-ass dude who was drunk decides to start choking the shit out of the driver. Here's the actual details. I tried to make sure the vehicle was not going to get in a wreck. And as I was going down the road, all I knew was my vision started dimming and I didn't have any oxygen. Watt said I couldn't breathe. Now, he's being choked out while actively driving. Now, we know there is a host of suggestions in regards to defensive tools. I make it clear you should certainly have some type of defensive tool on you at all times, either mace, pepper spray, something to slice or poke wood, up to and including a firearm. If I could, I often suggest that in regards to something to slice or poke wood, usually under my thigh, if someone is, deciding to choke, if you can get the hand that's around your neck and literally slice through it, that could go through tendons, perhaps vessels, whatever it takes to quickly get that person to realize they need to let go. Nevertheless, this driver's being choked, states they are damn near about to black out, running out of oxygen. 3 folks in the car. Now, what the driver stated, while this old drunk man is choking him out, the other 2 passengers are doing absolutely nothing to help him. Now, here is how it developed, and this is what you need to pay attention to when you're dealing with passengers, particularly those that may be inebriated. The drunk went from having a good time to what I call a bipolar drunk. Came up there and grabbed a hold of me and had a hold of me, Watt said. He's like, you're going to take us to our destination, even though I was already en route of taking them to their destination. So this guy obviously maybe felt like the driver, in his drunk state of mind, of course, wasn't going the right way, hesitating, whatever the case may be. So understand, if you have a passenger in your car that does not think you're following the GPS properly or starts to speak to you in a harsh tone, that should draw up red flags. Now, keep in mind, they don't always have to be drunk. You can get belligerent passengers that are simply in a hurry to get where they want to go. Go around him, speed up, make a U-turn. The light is turning red, step on it, go through the yellow. I mean, you can get this shit. So you have to pay attention to the mindset of your passengers, particularly if they start barking orders to you. In this case, out of nowhere, the damn driver or the passenger starts to choke out the driver. What is particularly distressing is the fact that he states that the other 2 individuals in the car did nothing to help him. But he does go on to state that he was eventually able to pull over at a gas station and force them out of the vehicle. This is when having a weapon comes in hand. I don't give a damn that the choke is now over. I would mace the whole damn couple. All 3 of them in the car. If I could force this car to stop and get out, I would literally lace that whole vehicle, all of them, with mace, and probably proceed to beat the shit out of the guy that was choking me. But everybody has their own opinion of how they handle it. Fortunately, this guy was able to get them out of the car. But After getting him out of the car, he went to Stillwater's police department to report the incident. And this is where it gets downright baffling and depressing. Went and talked to an officer and was told. They were like, well, if you don't have a camera or if you don't have no camera footage, there is not much we can do. Watt said, it's more of a he said, she said type of deal. You know, but it's kind of the stuff you're getting into when you're doing Uber anyways. I mean, talk about a degrading response. He's basically saying, listen, if you drive for Uber, you're kind of setting yourself up for shit like this. That's a cop. That is a police officer telling them that. Now, obviously, a lot of folks would believe, well, listen, this driver had a bad experience. He just making this shit up. He went to the cops and he didn't get the results he wanted, so now he wants to throw the cops under the bus. Not true. Now, this whole story came from News 4, a news media division in the area, and that news conglomerate reached out to the Stillwater Police Department, who responded by saying, we're not even aware of this situation took place. But get this, once they put the police department of Stillwater in contact with Watts, the Uber driver, and they did some digging, they actually were able to locate body cam footage of the actual officer telling the Uber driver ain't nothing we can do. So the quotes that I read that sound like they should be beneath any member of law enforcement telling a citizen that is in, for the most part, in a desperate situation asking for help. No law enforcement officer should tell you some shit like that. Well, you are an Uber driver. That's kind of what comes with. No. Now, if a woman walked up and said she had been sexually assaulted or something, you think they're going to tell her, well, you don't have video footage, there's nothing we can do. This sounds like an officer that simply did not want to do any paperwork or any type of, investigation into it. So he just told the driver, too bad, so sad. Now, the police department has stated that this is unacceptable, yada this, yada that, probably going to do nothing in regards to helping the driver out and probably nothing in regards to disciplining the officer. But this is just to let you know, folks, you're on your own when you're out here. Guy gets choked out, could have crashed the vehicle, could have hurt all of them in there, and then goes to the police, and the police are like, well, that's kind of what happens when you drive in ride sharing. This is why I am a strong opponent against what Uber suggests, and that is driving unarmed. Both Uber and Lyft have policies that drivers should not carry any type of weapons. Fuck that. Fuck that. You see what happened here? You think Uber or Lyft would reach out to a driver going through this? GoFundMe page, perhaps send them a letter of sympathy? They're not going to do anything like that. So it's up to you to protect yourself in the moment. If you're driving unarmed, I do believe you are taking a risk with every passenger on every trip. Nevertheless, I did want to run this story by you because what shocked me the most is that even when he went to the cops, they pretty much told him, too bad, so sad. So once again, do you focus on where people sit in your vehicle? Obviously, this guy was right behind him. I'm sure he didn't jump over the other two passengers in his vehicle. Do you focus, in addition to that, in addition to caring about where people sit in your vehicle, many would suggest, in addition to having a weapon, if someone is choking you out, you do have some defensive tactics, even if you're unarmed. One is, particularly if you're a shorter guy, reach down, hit the seat lever so that you can slide the seat back, and literally push with your thighs as hard as you can on the person next to you, behind you rather. Same thing if you can reach over to the side of your seat, whereas you can make the seat go back. Once again, once the seat is back, you step up and put your legs against the steering wheel, the dash, the radio console, or whatever. You push that seat back as far as you can, smashing the guy behind you. There are some options like that, but I do personally prefer good old-fashioned metal when it comes to cases like that. What say you? Have you ever had a drunk start talking shit where you knew it's time to get this person out of your vehicle, even though you were nowhere near the destination? What do you do in cases like that? As always, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. It's your boy Tim. I'll see you in the next video.
If you're not afraid of a gun, get one. Become proficient. Get a concealed firearms license and carry it. And if you need to shoot somebody, shoot them a lot.